Let's get it started.
Definitely. Good morning, Samson.
Good
Happy
morning to you. Well, it's a new week anyway, yeah. So a lot is happening on the pages of the newspaper. And as people were slowing down over the weekend, headlines are refused to slow down. Definitely that's what you expect. And the federal government of Nigeria actually came and said, look, we have secured the release of 100 more of the kidnapped 215 people in Niger State at it's a private Catholic school right in Niger State. All in all, there were 303 students there and 12 teachers who were kidnapped at the time. And then just immediately after that, I think it was the following day, 50 of them escaped from captivity, and the rest of them were left there. So 100 of them are now back with their families. That's a good one anyway. At least those ones who have to reunite with their families. But one thing I'm usually scared of as regards how kidnapped victims are released, most of the times they don't get to come back in their whole numbers, and that's really something that baffles me. What exactly is the process? Just like we were saying during the introduction, what exactly is the process of securing the release of abductees, and what exactly should the government be doing differently at this time? Yeah. Even though so many people are frowning at negotiations. You don't negotiate with bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers. What has to be done is to be done, and especially when it comes to how releases are secured. Some people are released, and by the federal government they get secured, and then you begin to wonder what exactly happened to people who actually brought them. Were there kidnappers? Were they dropped at a particular point and then you went to pick them? Was there money involved? Did money exchange hand? And what are the things involved? People really want to know exactly what is going on. Yeah. Because as it stands, no one has actually come out to say, look, we have arrested 2 or 3 of the people who orchestrated this particular kidnapper saga in a particular place in Niger State, or maybe in Nasarawa or Yola. But people want to know exactly what the process looks like.
Honestly, I think you're very spot on, because when I heard the news too, I was a bit surprised to see that one question that I'm asking, and I think some Nigerians are also asking, is why are they being released in batches? In batches. Because, I mean, there's a BBC Pidgin team that actually reported something recently to say that you see those 50 persons that came back home the next day, they were initially not kidnapped. Maybe they ran outside of the school to find shelter, and then they came back. When they saw that, everything was already calm. So it's sad that, the 50 were released first, and then we are hearing about 100. We still have about 163 students there, about 12 teachers. 153 students, I beg your pardon, and 12 teachers there. I don't know, they've not released any of the teachers, and I just are asking. I recall that recently, this new defense minister mentioned something to say that, one of the things he wants to put in place is to ensure that, no more negotiation, no more, paying of ransom. I want to believe that is on this matter, to find out, how the students were released. And then, I think a major general was on TV yesterday, that's John Eneche. And he was saying that it doesn't matter how they were released, that the major thing is the fact that the children are being released back to their parents. But Nigerians want to know, because we want to be sure that we are not doing the wrong thing. We are not, making deals with these bandits, deals that can come back, to haunt us. We want to be sure that we are doing the right thing to ensure that these people are released. Yes, the parents are going to be very happy to see that they are being released. And he also mentioned something that he thinks that it is bad enough that the military operatives are being reactive rather than proactive, because why should they be kidnapped in the first place? Now that they've been released to us, we still have over 150 students there with this bandit. How do we ensure they are released to? How do we ensure that something like this will not happen again in Niger State? These are the things that we should begin to look at, honestly. And then the government can just communicate, because this is one of the problems that we experience in this country. Government, fails to communicate, properly to the citizens. So they just tell us, we release them. What happened? How? Two of the parents, I even read a story where they mentioned that, they had an information that, one of the vehicles of the bandit, had an issue at some point. How did they get to know? If the parents of the students and their maybe neighbors, have certain information that the government doesn't have, is it not sad? So how is it that the government is not even properly informed about how the students are being released? It's really sad, honestly.
Well, I think one of the challenges we have is that the security architecture in Nigeria right now is so weak that we are beginning to misinterpret or misplace what priorities should look like, and what roles these military, paramilitary, and some other bodies are to play in the society. On the flip side, there are so many people who think, oh, the soldiers really should not not be the ones to be saddled with the responsibility of getting back kidnapped students or children out there, or even people out there. That it should be the job of the police, the NSCDC, and some other people. It's a civil case, and the soldiers, normally, the Nigerian army should focus on defending the country against external attacks, which is right by the constitution. But unfortunately, Nigeria is in a sorry state in terms of security, and they would have to help in that particular area. And another thing you said earlier about General Musa, who said, look, we are done with negotiation. Yes, he's right. And then NHS saying, oh, look, it doesn't matter how they came back to their families, but then all that matters is that they are coming back. You see, that for me is a statement that should be underlined. I mean, that statement emboldens criminals to do more. Now, just imagine a criminal sect who had the capacity of kidnapping 300 school children, and then you pay them maybe 1 billion naira to set them free. You have practically given them the opportunity, or maybe you have given them the capital to kidnap 1,000 when next they want to do or go on rampage and kidnap more students. So it shows that we are only giving them money. We are paying them to kidnap more students. So that for me should stop. And one of the challenges we have always had in Nigeria, just like you mentioned earlier, is not just about now. It's not just about kidnaps. It's about the fact that each time anything happens in Nigeria, we don't prepare for the next time. Yes, it's bad enough that it happened once, but it's so bad that it has been repeating itself. This is not the first time we are having kidnap of school children. Remember the issue of Chibok during the regime of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Also some other places across the country where, you know, bandits or kidnappers would just go into schools, pack children into buses, and then drive them into the bushes. And someone somewhere will tell me, you don't know where they passed. I mean, it's not just one person. If it was just one person that was kidnapped, you would say, oh, probably they were hiding in plain sight. But how do you keep 300 or 315 people in plain sight? It's impossible. So there was a route that was passed. Then someone somewhere knows exactly what happened there. Who is answering questions? I don't think anyone has been grilled after the kidnap. It's just, oh, let's just get them back. If we continue this way, which is business as usual, I think Nigeria is sitting firmly on a keg of gunpowder, because this will become a recurrent issue, and then we'll continue to have kidnaps over and over again, and then we'll begin to react. It is time for us to now act before we should be proactive about things. Yeah. I think there was a time when the policy was to be introduced about, NSCDC officials guarding schools across the country. I don't know what happened at the end of the day where it didn't see the light of the day, but now is the time for us to rise up and do the right thing. Now, you can imagine what those children who were kidnapped will be going through right now, emotionally. In fact, their time is being wasted. And during the case of the Chibok girls, some of them did not make it back to their parents. Some of them died. Some of them are still in captivity till now. So what will be the fate of this current set of children who have just been kidnapped? So it's a crisis on our hand that really needs solving.
Yeah, and I think some Nigerians, because online, some Nigerians are even following the patterns to say that, okay, if 50 came back the first time, 100 came back the second time, maybe we should be expecting 150 to come back the third time. But we are really not sure. And then a cleric said something yesterday. He said that in a country where citizens are complaining of poverty, no money, bandits are flashing heavy cash online, and you begin to wonder. I think it's counterproductive, because if you say we want to end banditry and terrorism, but then you keep giving them money to get arms, money that even the military apparatus do not have access to. We are still talking about finance, and then the defense minister is training. He wants to ensure that the military will get enough resources to get arms so that they can, tackle these people. But then you keep empowering these people through cash. As a matter of fact, I don't know, he's doing something to their ego. I don't know if you've seen videos online, and they'll come out to say that, okay, we did not release, your government had nothing to do with it too. It was we wanted to
on our own volition.
Honestly, so he's doing a lot to them, and it's actually very sad. And they're speaking about the 153 that we see have, in their custody, and the students. Okay, how do we ensure that they also come out? Because I want to believe that even after this Niger attack, another attack has happened recently, right, and then a lot of persons were kidnapped. Not even school children alone, adults, clerics. I think a wife and a husband was killed recently. They were abducted and they were killed recently. What happened to those ones? So it is a problem to see that, I mean, the government is trying, honestly, because we've seen cases whereby recently the president approved, I mean, new recruits, okay, get this, get that, you know, he appointed a new defense minister and all of those things. He even changed some servitudes, you know, recently. So we are seeing what they are doing, but then we just need to communicate more, because you think that maybe citizens do not really have much to do, but then they will not speak up on things that they know to, because they know the government is also hiding a lot of things. I want to believe that there are people who know the things that the government can do, but they are waiting for the government to also come out to communicate so that they can be able to help in some way, because there are persons who are very intelligent and they know how we can tackle this aside from the military persons, but then the government must also come out playing.
I think one of the things you must also look at is the implementation of using technology to track these people down. And we have seen how well technology can be of help to this issue of kidnapping, banditry across the country, especially the use of drones. But unfortunately, I still think we are a few steps behind when it comes to the use of technology. And in terms of resources, I think we have it. I think we have what it takes to get it done. But unfortunately, it's the political power that is not there. Maybe the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria at this point, he had a closed-door meeting. I think that was last week. He had a closed-door meeting with all service chiefs, including the newly sworn-in Minister of Defense, General Musa, and saying, look, these are things you have to do. Though the full details of the meeting was not made public, but definitely it has to do with the security of the country. Now, it's becoming more and more of a problem that every region has something they are battling with. We were talking about cattle farmer adder crisis a few months ago in the southwest, and in north, of course, we are talking about the issue of banditry, kidnappings, and some other things. And it is becoming more and more of a problem that kidnapping is no longer a case of one region in the country. There used to be a time when kidnapping happened so much in the southeast, and now it is something of the southwest. Recently, a broadcaster was kidnapped in Ibadan. And till now, nobody knows her whereabouts, and it's becoming a problem. So a politician was also kidnapped on Akala Express right here in Ibadan. I think that happened last week on the same day. So should broadcasters also now be worried about their safety when it comes to what is going on in the country? So if that is being extended to the southwest, kidnapping now knows nobody, knows no region. So we should face it head on. And it's a good thing that the southwest governors came together and said, look, it is time for us to do what we call state policing, something that some of them were vehemently against it before now, but then they realized it is time and they need it at this time. Also, the inflow of people from one state to another really needs to be checked. You don't even know these people. Are they well documented? Are they Nigerians? Where are they coming from? Where are they going? And what exactly are they going there to do? You must be able to express yourself and tell people, oh, I'm going from Ibadan or your state, I'm going to Ogun State, and this is exactly what I want to do. Nobody is stopping you from moving from one state to the other. As long as you're a Nigerian, you carry a Nigerian passport or means of identification, nobody should stop you. But you must have a valid or cogent reason for moving from one state to the other. You see people on a truck, and you begin to wonder, where are these people coming from? You see them, and you are really scared for yourself about if they continue to move in this way, and they activate their sleeper cells across the country. What will happen when the countries now start to react instead of being proactive at this time when this thing is already happening? Yes,
and I also think that a lady posted a video yesterday and she said 18 bus passengers, I think along Kaba, 18 of them were kidnapped recently. And then you begin to wonder, this is festive period, because originally, even before all this insecurity became very intense, you know, they will advise you that if you must travel during this festive period, ensure that you go early, ensure that you don't travel at night. So now that the festive period is around, and then these people will know that a lot of persons want to travel, you know, go to their village, go to their hometown. I think citizens must, you know, guide themselves, you know, properly. If there's no need for you to travel like that, you can just relax at home. Next year you can travel. If you cannot
afford to go by air, you can go by train.
Exactly.
At least, I think those are still safer than any other means of transportation.
It's just that, you know, going by air is very expensive. And
that's why I said if you cannot afford to go by air, you can go by train.
Yeah, by train. Or even if train is not possible, you can just sit back at home and maybe you go next year. There's always a next time. Because, I mean, the situation is very dire now, and then these people, I'm very sure they're already planning how to operate at this period, because they know that a lot of persons will travel. So this is one thing that the government should even look into the more, because I want to believe that shielding these people is not doing us any good, you know, honestly. If anything, it has escalated the problem. So they need to come out publicly and then follow what that new defense minister said, that no more negotiation, no more ransom, because we keep empowering these people by giving them cash and all of those things. If you can ensure that, I mean, in no time, US, for instance, now, you mentioned something about technology. I think the major thing that helped them solve insecurity is technology, and they know how to use it properly. And that's why they are saying they will come to Nigeria gonna blaze, because they know they've done it before. So we just need to learn from them instead of focusing on our resources that a lot of Nigerians don't even have access to. Honestly, it's a sad one.
Well, it's a very sad one, but it's a convenient place to leave that topic this morning. And we do hope that the government does something really interesting about that, and make sure that the lives and properties of Nigerian people are safe, especially at this time, the festive season.